Yeah. I hope you're okay. So, I actually can't believe I'm making this video in the space of 1 week. I'm covering two cases that are very similar. Um, Now, this is another predator on Merseyside, a paedophile named Peter Williams. So, on the 6th of April, it was reported in the Liverpool Echo by journalist Laura Wise that another paedophile has been given a slap on the wrist by Liverpool Crown Court. And my issue is it's exactly the same judge who last week gave a paedophile a slap on the wrist, Judge Gary Woodall. So I became a little bit suspicious about him. So I've looked up a few of his other cases, and he tends to do a lot of paedophile cases. And in cases where the paedophile has actually touched or raped a child, he will give them a prison sentence. But in cases involving like internet grooming and possessing child pornography, he is very, very lenient. And I struggle with this attitude because every image, regardless of its category A, B or C, is a child being sexually abused. And, you know, it's people like that who are downloading these images and buying these images that create a market for these images and films, and they're equally as damaging to the kids, and they deserve the same punishment. I don't get this attitude. But it gets worse. So, like I said, the predator of the week is a 28-year-old man, Peter Williams, from Eastham in the Wirral. And the images he had were of actual child rape. Actual little children being raped. Yet, he's even managed to keep hold of his job. He hasn't been sacked. So in total, he had 273 images spread across 3 different devices, and he was caught by police when they raided his home on January 12th, 2020, after the police got a tip from somebody. So the police arrest him and take his devices, and they found child sex abuse images across a laptop, a tower computer, and like a Windows tablet. So there were 117 category A images, which are the most severe, 78 category B, and another 78 with category C. And of these 273 images, 161 were unique, meaning they were not duplicates, meaning he possibly made them. So, like many predators, when you start looking at them, he had no previous convictions. They tend to keep their noses clean. They don't tend to commit any other types of crimes other than sexual offences against children, which they never really get caught. So Williams was defended by this man called Jeremy Hawthorne, And he said to the judge, you know, take into consideration that Williams has admitted guilt early on and that he cooperated with the investigation. Hawthorne then turned round and said there was also an appropriate degree of remorse about what he had done. What the fuck does that mean? An appropriate degree of remorse? Or and Hawthorne then says, it has been brought home how it's a matter of importance he has contributed to the exploitation by being a willing spectator. So what he's basically saying is, my client didn't realise that he was causing any harm by looking at these images, but now that he's been arrested, he now understands that, you know, he is part of the problem. Well, that's good of him, isn't it? Hawthorne then explains that Williams had sought help from a therapist after being arrested, and he's being supported by his family. What type of family supports somebody like this? Because I wouldn't. 117 Category A images. A Category A image is one where it involves penetration. So these babies and children are being raped. 117 images of that alone. Yet he's kept his job. His family are being supportive. But I don't. The defence lawyer then says to the judge that William's mother died and when he was little, and this meant that his father became slightly more distant. My mum died when I was 6. My dad became an alcoholic. I do not download images or create images of child pornography. I don't understand why that is even being brought up. So Williams works for a food company on the outskirts of Chester. So I'm not surprised they're not saying who he works for. So Williams admitted to 3 counts of making indecent images and 1 count of possessing 273 indecent images. So this judge, Woodhall, noted that Williams was of previous good character and had accepted responsibility. Honest to God, me, this judge. The judge also mentions that because there was no evidence that that Williams was distributing the images, that, quote, if that had been the case, the sentencing outcome would have been very, very different. Unbelievable. It's the same thing. So, in the court, Judge Woodall quotes part of a character reference by Williams' sister, in which she describes him as a shy, emotionally immature, and someone who struggles with making and keeping relationships. Yes, because he's a paedophile. That's why he struggles with relationships. She also said that Williams had suffered a period of depression. The judge said a probation officer described him as a low risk of reoffending. Bullshit. He will reoffend because if this is the only consequence, then what the hell is stopping him? So the judge suspends his sentence and says he kept in mind William's good character and the steps that you have sought to take responsibility, and that he's being supported by his family and that he's managed to keep his job. Which to the judge says that he has a realistic prospect of rehabilitation. This judge, I need to sit down and talk to this judge, because what we do know about paedophiles is there is no rehabilitation. It is who they are and what they do. If you're a drug addict, fair enough. We know rehabilitation does and can work. But paedophilia, no. There's no evidence to say it works. In fact, there's evidence to say it doesn't work. The judge then gives Williams an 8-month suspended sentence, which has been suspended for 12 months. So he's got an 8-month sentence. He'll probably do about 3 or 4 weeks. So about 12 or 16 weeks in prison. Suspended for 12 months. And he's been given 200 hours of unpaid work. He was ordered to undertake 20 rehabilitation activity requirement days, and a sexual harm prevention order was also imposed for 7 years. And Williams must also sign the sex offenders register for 10 years. Oh well, that should work. I don't understand the thinking behind this sentence when the images were, these are not just little kids playing in a park or at a beach. These are the most extreme categories of child pornography that there is. I mean, it's likely that is 117 different children being raped. I'm sickened that in the space of a week, 2 child sex abusers are free to roam the streets of Merseyside, and that Peter Williams has kept his family and his job. What the hell is wrong with people? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I can almost guarantee that next week there'll be another predator to be discussing. Same situation, it'll probably be Judge Woodall, and they'll probably say, oh, he was bullied as a kid and one of his parents died and then he had depression and, blah, de blah, de blah, blah, blah. I don't care. This is one of the reasons why I was doing A-level law. I'd done GCSE law, A-level law, and then I was going to do law degree. But I started coming around these type of cases and these sentences, and I thought the criminal justice system's broke. Or not even that it's broke. Someone somewhere wants it to operate the way it's operating. And I wanted no part of it from that moment on. And then the fact that this probation officer has said that he's low risk of reoffending. Well, most probation officers these days don't even meet the clients. They're given about, 50, 70, 100 different cases, and they've just got to make phone calls and check up on them because they haven't got the time. They're overworked, underfunded, undertrained. So I'd like to know what evidence this probation officer's seen to make them think this. But I'm just fed up of it. I am absolutely fed up of paedophiles being allowed to roam the streets if you get caught with some weed or you've grown a pot plant, just for your own personal use, and I'm not talking about drug dealing, but, you know, you're going to go to jail. If you don't pay your council tax, you're going to go to jail. If you don't pay your TV licence, you're going to go to jail. These are guaranteed prison sentences. But people who are possessing and making child pornography, where a child is physically being raped, being penetrated with something, oh, well, you know, slap on the wrist, you know, don't do it again, I know you're a good person, blah, 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 blah. You know, I know that you're feeling remorseful. You know, you're of good character, you're not a criminal, and, you know, you're a good man, and you just made a mistake. I just can't. Yeah, I just needed to make this video because something needs to happen. And something has got to give with these cases. I'm going to be making a video, hopefully it should be up in the next day or two, because I don't really think people understand the categorisation of child porn. So, you know, it's just like throwing away comments. Oh yeah, you know, 100 category A, 200 category B. You know, what does that mean in English? Because by skirting over what these things mean, I don't think it does any justice. I think people need to understand what these images consist of, because it seems, for this judge in particular, it seems that he doesn't view child pornography or having images of child pornography the way he would if the person had raped his 6-year-old daughter. And I think we need to stop skirting around these issues. We need to throw politically correct terms out the window and just get back to plain English and what things are and what things mean. I know it won't be a popular topic because, you know, what kind of people want to listen or watch a video like that? I don't, but I feel like it needs to be made and it needs to be said. Anyway, yeah, this is longer than what I was meaning it to be. But I hope you're all okay. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you in my next video, alright? So, see you later. Ta-ta.